Hey, everybody, welcome back to Guns and Gadgets, the premier source for Second Amendment news. I have a special kind of video today. There's a member of our community. You can see him on the screen here, Big Josh from Black Diamond Guns and Gear. For those of you who don't know about Black Diamond, I'm going to let you know everything you can about them today. But this is a chance for us to help a member of our community. This is another, gun tuber, Pro 2A channel that is being attacked by a Karen looking to stop their ability to bring out information. So without further ado, Big Josh, thank you, man, for taking time out of your schedule to come on my channel to talk to the folks, man. Thank you.
Thank you very much, man. I really appreciate you having me on. It's a big deal, and never thought I was going to have to be doing something like this. I never thought I was going to be asking for help. I guess it's just really weird for me to do that.
Yeah, it's weird for all of us, dude. But sometimes we absolutely have to do it, and especially when what's at stake is at stake. It's kind of important that people know about it. So first off, tell the folks a little bit about who you are and why you got into this YouTube game, and then tell them about the channel and what it does.
Oh, man, that's a long story. Basically, man, it started probably 3 years ago. And I'm just one part of the duo, Small Josh is my partner. He's a guy that knows everything about everything, and I'm just a guy that likes to shoot stuff. So we just kind of mesh together pretty well. So, but basically, I mean, we don't take it too seriously. We have, a lot of friends that do really good content that are very serious and, do great videos. But we don't take it that seriously. We kind of have fun at it the whole time we're doing it. And it all started as I was creating holsters in my garage. And Josh came over one day and he was wearing some shitty like Uncle Mike's holster or something. I can't remember what it was. It wasn't Uncle Mike's. It wasn't that bad. But it was something. And I was like, man, let me make you a holster. So I at the time I was making Codex holsters. So we got together, we hung out. I made him a holster. We did that, started making YouTube videos. Man, our channel is just a fun channel to just watch. I mean, I guess that's the reason why people watch it. I don't really know what to say about it. It's basically, we don't take ourselves too seriously. It's not a big production. Let's put it that way.
For those who go ahead, man.
Yeah, I mean the thing about our channel is what gives us the most feedback and stuff like that is that like I said, I was doing holsters back in the day. I came up with a design called the Fat Guy holster, and that is our biggest video on our channel. I mean, it's got over 800,000 something views on it, and that pretty much skyrocketed us into subscribers because for the most part, it wasn't that bad. And then when that hit, it just kind of blew up. But the Fat Guy holster is what got our channel up there as far as people watching it. Just one thing after another, meeting great people that helped us out along the way. Eric and John Patton and Johnny B, just everybody was there, and they kind of like held open arms, like, hey, come on in, you're part of this group. And I was just like, because I used to play music for 20 years, and it was never like that. It was always cutthroat,
which is why I like this community so much, because it's not like that in, as you said, in other facets of life. And we really have a good community, and our viewers are the same. Our viewers are part of our extended family, and sometimes it's tough for us to even think that way, but they absolutely are, which is why I wanted to have you on here today. So for those who aren't familiar with the channel, I'll have a link down below in the description. Check them out. I think you'll enjoy the content, and give them a subscribe while you're over there. So let's talk about the unfortunate issue at hand. You've been experiencing an issue with a neighbor. And for those who aren't aware, he doesn't live in a communist state. In fact, he lives in my next state that I'll be living in. So tell folks a little bit about your area. There you go.
I don't know if you can see that.
Yeah. Tell folks about the issue, bro.
Yeah, we live in East Tennessee, man. It's not a big city. We live in Knoxville, Tennessee. Well, close to Knoxville anyway. We live on the outside. We live in Blount County, and it's a massive county. It's very big, but it's taken up a lot of the foothills. Like, I mean, it's a massive place, and it is basically a 2A friendly area. Everybody that I know of is 2A. Most of the judges are 2A. I mean, we were the very first Second Amendment sanctuary city that in Tennessee. We started the movement of, let's be a Second Amendment sanctuary place. And then I think after that, 9 or 13 different cities or counties became Second Amendment sanctuary counties. And I shouldn't say city, I should say county, but yes, that's what it was. And after that, like we know, this past year, Bill Lee has passed the Second Amendment sanctuary state. So I want to say I had something to do with that, because I actually emailed them. I probably didn't, but it's really fun to think that I did. I emailed them like 4 months prior to that and was like, hey, man, we want to see this as a Second Amendment state, or a Second Amendment sanctuary state. And he was like, of course, it wasn't him. It was one of his people talking back to me, and they were like, hey, Bill Lee will always fight for the rights of every Tennessean. And I'm like, yeah, that's great, but that's not what I asked you. What I asked you is, I want you to make this a Second Amendment sanctuary state. And I never got an email back. But then 3 or 4 months later, it was coming through. So I was like, yeah, but it probably wasn't me. I think they probably already had that in place anyway. But anyway, basically we're in a very pro 2A place. And so this piece of land that we acquired from a family member, this is a short version of the story. Family member owns 8 acres. We bought an acre from that 8 acres. And before we even bought our house or built our house, I built a range on that 1 acre. The way the acre is set up, it goes up to a hill, and then there's a crest, and then there's land on the other side of it. Well, because it has a hill on the backside of it, I was able to dig into the hill and create a berm. And the way I did that was I dug into the hill probably 10 or 15 feet and made it like 10 or 15 feet high berm on the backside. Then I took all that dirt and put it on top of the hill. So basically I made the safest berm possible that I could think of. And, doing videos at all these other places, because before we bought our land, we were doing videos everywhere. Right. Anywhere anybody would let us shoot, we've done videos there. We've been, Wind Rock shooting range, just everywhere. So I was like, man, I would really like to make an area on my property, my own property, that I've had and wanted to buy forever, and was now able to do. And so basically I bought my property and made my dream of having a range on my property come true. Mm-hmm. Spent $10,000 of my own money building that range and making it safe, adding gravel, adding, bobcats, adding, all the stuff to do it with. And when I finally got it done, we did I would say we did 3 to 4 videos there. Mm-hmm. And within that whole period of time, a year had elapsed, because we, at the point of doing that, just got it ready to where it looked good enough to where we were going to do videos on it. So we did 3 or 4 videos, and then we had a neighbor that was one of our neighbors. And basically we had been fighting with them throughout the whole year that we actually were here building a house and all that stuff. And before that, before we even bought the property, we were here riding 4-wheelers and stuff, doing country shit, like country people do. Right. Riding 4-wheelers, doing bonfires, that kind of thing. And of course we had to fight with them about that before this happened. Fought with us about the fires, fought with us about riding 4-wheelers and stuff on our own property, because it was scaring her horses that were 20 acres away on her own property. So, I was just like, this lady's just trying to control everything we do. Like, I guess she's mad the fact that we bought this 8 acres and she didn't buy it or something. I don't know what her deal is. So, we basically explained to her, that's your property. This is our property. Do your thing. We're not trying to tell you what to do. We'll be over here. We'll keep it as, we were never an asshole to her. We were trying to keep it as, polite as possible. So it kind of went on. Then we started making videos. And I would say, because me and Josh have 40-hour jobs, we don't shoot every single day. We can't record every single day. First of all, we don't have the money to afford to shoot every single day. Yeah. And for her to allege that we're doing that is ridiculous, first of all. And so I was, explaining to them, everybody, I was like, we shoot on the weekends because that's when we have time to do it. Not only that, most of the time when we're out there shooting, we're recording something. When we're recording something, it's during the daytime. When have you ever seen a night video on our channel? Right. Never. It's never happened before. Right. So we don't shoot into the night and all this stuff. And but the point is that a year from that, we got papers and we got sued, or whatever you want to call it. And basically That was in October. We went for a hearing on an injunction, which she also put on it. Basically, the injunction was for you can't shoot out here until we get this resolved. Is basically what her injunction was. So we went to a hearing for that injunction. The judge decided he let us. So he didn't decide right then, hey, this is what's going to happen. This is what you can and cannot do.
Right.
What he did was he allowed the actual attorneys to come up with their own plans of what we would compromise on. And then if what we would compromise together worked, then that's fine. If not, then he would make a judgment on it. So we came up with our plan and they came up with their plan. Now, in our plan, we are going by what law we have here, what law we have here in Blount County is we have a Range Protection Act.
Right.
It went into place in 2004. It was put into place by the Tennessee Firearms Association. So John Harris, he's the guy that put it through. He's the one that actually wrote the bill. And my attorney, who actually helped push it through or whatever. And it states that anybody that is in Blount County can shoot on their own property, regardless of size or whatever. And it will protect you from anybody claiming noise nuisance. It will basically protect you from everything except for if you were to cause physical harm to somebody or damage somebody else's property or running a commercial range. Okay. Those are the only three things that allow you not to be protected by that Range Protection Act. Because, and I mainly think it's because they were thinking of stuff like this. Neighbors calling in, oh, I can't stand him shooting, someone take him to court.
Right.
It's the only thing I can think of. So this thing was put into place, 2004. I get sued. October goes in. We go to the courthouse, go for the hearing. He says, I know that you have a Second Amendment, and I'm not trying to, infringe upon your rights or whatever he said. But you can shoot at your property if you want to shoot a 22 or a shotgun. That was his ruling. So our ruling that we came up with was there's no compromise. We're not doing anything wrong. We're not doing anything illegal. We're going by the law. The law says that we're protected by this Range Protection Act. We're still shooting out here on a normal basis like we would any other time because we're not doing anything wrong. Her compromise was, man, it was ridiculous. She was like, you can shoot from Tuesday. You can shoot on Tuesday and Wednesday from like 12 to 1:30, Friday and Saturday from like 2:30 to 4:30. And that was it. And you can't shoot anything over a 22 caliber.
Yeah. Okay.
Like that was her. She wanted to compromise with me from the time that we were doing this hearing to the time that we go into court date to get this settled. And I was like, you are out of your mind. Like, I mean, who would,
Is she from New York? Do you know?
I don't know where she's from, man. Or her, whatever. I don't know where they're from. I just know that they moved here 8 years ago. So they've been here 8 years longer than I have. But still the same people, I guess. But anyway, so we get there and do the hearing. Everything, put our things in. He decides, no, you can't. I'm not going to allow you to tell him what time he can shoot. I'm just going to tell him he can shoot if he wants, but it can't be anything 22 or shotgun. And I was just like, well, that basically cuts out everything. I mean, if you think about it,
it's kind of an infringement. Yeah.
Yeah. And so that's where I came about it, saying, this is an infringement upon my rights. That's the reason why I want to get GOA and, everybody involved. So when that happened, we kind of just went with that. And I said, out of respect for my neighbor, unfortunately, out of respect for my neighbor, out of respect for the court system and everything else, it'll be better for me if I just don't shoot out here because I have other places to shoot. I can go to friends' places. I can go to, different places to shoot and record and all that stuff, which we have been doing. But now it's coming up on almost 10 months. And finally, COVID set everything back. So basically they were allowing they shut down all the courts. And when they opened them back up, they were taking everything that was important first.
Right.
And now we've gotten word that it's come across the desk and it's waiting on us to set a court date. So the hours that my attorneys and stuff have put into it. Now, I will say this. I have an attorney. His name's Kyle Baisley. Great guy, but he's expensive. And he's the guy that helped Reed Hendricks fight his thing that he had going on.
Yep.
And they won. And it was basically because of stuff like this. So Kyle is a great guy. He's a great attorney. Like I said, but he's expensive. And with all the work that we've been doing, The bill has gotten up there. Let's say that. Now, the problem with this suit is that in Tennessee, nobody has ever been sued for shooting on their own property. They've been sued for shooting on other people's property that they didn't know they were on, but they've never been sued for shooting on their own property, which is
So
what I'm doing.
you don't want to set that precedent.
Right. So with that precedent set, if I was to just say, nah, I'm not going to fight this. I don't need to shoot here. I can go shoot other places or whatever. Or no, I'm going to let you tell me what to do on my own property. Then I can let this go. But I just cannot let that happen. I can't let somebody determine what I'm going to do on my own property. It just doesn't seem right to me, and it shouldn't seem right to anybody else.
Yeah, absolutely.
So with that being said, the precedent hasn't been set yet. So if I set it and we win, then it sets it good for everybody else around me, and actually even other states around me that have the same kind of gun laws. If I don't, and the precedent gets set that, okay, well, we can take people to court and we can win because this guy lost and she won. That's bad news for everybody. She has admitted to shooting herself. Like, not herself, but like shooting on her property. And she's admitted to, shooting every now and then. What she said was, what they do is not what they call that, a hobbyist. She was like, what they do is more than a hobbyist would do. And I'm like, how do you determine what somebody's hobby is? Like, but basically she's like, she's the person that is, I like guns, but
yeah.
or I don't want to argue about gun laws, but
Right.
they're that kind of people.
Right. So everybody out here who has ever had to do anything that involved an attorney know that attorneys are expensive, period. And the good ones are really expensive. Yep. And bills, they add up, and you haven't even gotten to the court yet to start that side of the legal process.
Yeah. So basically to ensure that, we're not breaking any law and that we are covered underneath the law and that we have to get affidavits from people and all that sort of stuff. So the main thing about the suit is that the reason why it's able to even be a problem is because she alleging that I am a commercial business because I have a business license for YouTube.
Right.
So she is saying that I'm running a commercial range, which in fact is not true because I'm not having anybody come pay here to let them shoot at my personal range at my house.
Right.
And the zoning commission has basically agreed with us. So like doing that work to get that set up to make sure that we know what we're going through, make sure that we know we're going to win. Stuff costs money.
Absolutely.
And, unfortunately, I'm fitting the bill for everybody around me, basically in Blount County. And,
and it's admirable. I'm glad you're fighting, but I hope you're okay with us in this community helping you out.
I am, man, but like I said, it's very weird for me to ask somebody for help. I don't usually ask for help that often. Just when I need it, and right now I truly need it because right now I would say this. I don't know the exact bill, but if every one of my subscribers were to give me $1 and put a dent in our bill, basically, let's put it that way.
Yeah, I mean, I know how much I know a lot about the legal process. I know how expensive it can get. So I'm asking my viewers, first off, share this video, like it and share it so more people see it, especially those of us in this community. We are a family, and this is a family member who needs a little help. So if you can, whether it's $1, $5, $10, or if you're more able to give more, please consider helping Josh out. I am going to put up, and I'll have a link in the description too, but this is a link to the GoFundMe they started. So right away, as soon as I say GoFundMe, I know there's a couple concerns and some of them are valid for people. So somebody's going to ask you what you're going to do with the GoFundMe money. So why don't we address that first off?
Okay. So for the GoFundMe money, basically it will go toward my attorney's fees to fight this period. I'm not getting any of it. And after we use the amount that we get for the attorney's fees, if there's more left over, which, if there is, that's awesome. If there's more left over, it will be going to FPC and GOA, split up evenly, because I want the money to go from my fight to everybody else's fight also.
That's awesome.
That's where awesome. It's going. I'm not making any off of it. Any video I put up on it on my channel, if you see an ad on it, it's not because of me, because I'm not putting up, I'm basically turning the monetization off. So if YouTube puts ads on it, it's on them.
Right.
And they'll be getting money from it, which they usually do that to our stuff anyway. We're never monetized on anything, hardly. But yeah, if you don't want to send it to PayPal to GoFundMe, my attorney says you can send it to Kyle Baisley at 6341 Middlebrooke Pike in Knoxville, Tennessee, 37919. You can send it directly to him to fight the cause. I mean, if you don't want to send it to GoFundMe is just an easier way to send it.
That's awesome. I'll have that address down below too for those who want to just copy and paste it, or would rather send a handwritten check. And now, guys and gals, I realize there's a lot of there's folks in our side that look bad upon like GoFundMe. But I personally have been in that spot where and if you've been on the channel for a long time, you remember when my dad passed tragically on a motorcycle while on a charity ride raising money for a fire department in a different state.
Yeah, great, man.
And I didn't know what to do. The bills were astronomical, and the only thing I knew about was maybe asking for GoFundMe. And this community gave their hard-earned money to help us in our worst time ever. And I know what it's like, Josh, to feel like I don't know what to do. I need some help, and I know that feeling where you don't want to feel like you're asking people for stuff, but you're in a scenario where you need help. And the reason I asked you to come on here was to try to get this out to as many people as possible so that folks will help out. So guys and gals, if you can, for me, help out Josh. The link is down below. It's still on the screen. This is a brother in some need. And the biggest thing is think of it this way. He lives in a pro-gun state, in a pro-gun county it's a Second Amendment sanctuary state. It's a constitutional carry state. This is the state that we who live in communist America, this is what we want to preserve. Yeah. This is what we want to fight for. Well,
the fact that somebody can do that is just...
It's crazy. He has a neighbor who's trying to bring whatever state she's from. Maybe she's from Tennessee, but the thought process from other areas, she's trying to infiltrate what Tennesseans have grown to love, that have been there the whole time, and they've strengthened. So think of it that way. This is a way to help fight for the Second Amendment in Tennessee and to keep things the way they are. So if you can, maybe not go to McDonald's this week, maybe not buy those pizzas this week, and send that money to Josh, it'll go a long way. So
hey, if we can think of another way besides GoFundMe to send to it or send to the cause, then I'm down for it. Let me know. Message us on any. We're on Facebook and Instagram. We're on all the social. Right. So if you want to DM us or anything like that, we always answer people. That's the thing. We always talk to all of our viewers and subscribers. We just can't help it. It's just what we do.
That's awesome, man. And I hope this helps out. I hope it does. I'm going to donate too once we're done here. So I wish you the best. I have a feeling,
enough, man.
What's that?
What's that? This is donation enough.
Oh man, it's the least I can do is to help you out. I mean, every time I've met you, every time I've talked to you, you're a sincere dude. You're not phony. You're not, you're not trying to be something you're not. And I really admire that, because I try to be as humble as possible in this game, because I'm nobody special. And anytime we can help each other, I think that's what we're here for. That's why we're on this planet. So, guys and gals, hit that link down below. Donate to Josh. Check out the channel. Subscribe if you're not already. Josh, anything else you think they need to know about? Any particulars that might raise some eyes?
Just know that this is not going to me. This doesn't help Josh out. I mean, of course, this is going to the bill, but this is going to fight for our freedoms that we have in this state and every other state around us that has the same kind of gun laws. Texas, everything like that included. This can happen in other places because there's nothing been done like this before. Nobody has ever sued anybody for shooting on their own property. If your neighbor doesn't like what you're doing and we weren't fighting this case, guess what? She could take you to court for it, and she might win if this happens to go on and go bigger, basically.
Yeah, and this is how this happens. I mean, this is America. People can sue for anything. We've all heard of the lawsuits about McDonald's and the coffee, right? We've all heard about the lawsuit for the autopilot when somebody set cruise control and crashed a Class A motorhome. We all know those stories. Yeah. This is how it happens, man, and we can't let it happen, especially with as much we're fighting, as much as we're fighting right now. So,
yeah, I agree.
Dude, thank you for coming on here. I really appreciate it.
Thank you very much for having me, man. Thank you very much for putting it out there. I can't thank you enough, really.
Man, that's what we do. We're brothers. All right, guys and gals, you know what to do. Down below is the link to the GoFundMe. Subscribe to his channel as well. Like this video and share it so more of us like-minded folks will see it. That way, maybe we can get some more help in Josh's area. And until we see each other again, be safe, stay vigilant, carry a weapon. Take care, everybody.